Welcome to my session. You are listening to Emeritus Professor Stephen Adei. As usual, every Saturday morning at 8:30 a.m., I want to engage you. And now we are looking at leadership for everyone, everywhere. So tune in to ZFM 101.9. If you miss this session live, please go to Emeritus Professor Stephen Adei YouTube and meet me there. We continue our series under the theme Leadership for Everyone, Everywhere. Having given last session my Father's Day message, I am going to give 3 sessions, or if I can fit them into 2 sessions, on community leadership. Community leadership. For those who are following us, we have talked about the principles of leadership. We have talked about leading oneself, leading in the family, corporate leadership, and now we are on community leadership. Let me share a few thoughts of my gleanings from the literature. We are as simple as possible, and I'll apply them to 2 levels of community leadership in Ghana. One is traditional leadership, that of chiefs, kings, nayanas, and the rest. Then I'll have a session on leadership in the community by ordinary folks like you and me, not born with any title, but going to influence our community. Remember, our definition of leadership is influence. So, my next series is on community leadership. Let me share 8 things that normally is talked about community leadership in the literature. Most of them, of course, are about organizational leadership and political leadership. But the ordinary person is not going to be a politician. Neither are they going to be chief executives, but they can have positive influence in their community, in their neighborhood, in their church. And that is what we are talking about. And if you happen to be a traditional leader, even your area of jurisdiction. First of all, successful community leadership is not one man's job. No matter how intelligent, how capable you are, you lead by connecting to people, not controlling them. Let me repeat it. At the community level, you lead by connecting with people, not controlling them. I've seen even people who have titles, chiefs, but nobody respects them because they think that by virtue of their position, their heritage, they have authority. And under even the laws of Ghana, someone can refuse to go to Ahemfie. He doesn't have to. And the king has nothing. But a chief, a king, has such a powerful impact if he's not seeking to control people, but rather to connect with them, to mobilize them, to make them feel that it is in their interest to come together. Second, oftentimes at the community level, it is not by criticizing them. If you go to a community or you are in the community and you see weaknesses, and in fact in Ghana, wherever you turn, you have something to criticize. Chiefs are engaging in galamsey. We have our streets, dirty, our gutters blocked. Listen, you can actually spend all your life complaining and criticizing in Ghana. And I'm not holding an alibi for anybody else. These things must be tackled. However, it's found that those who become community leaders are those who build on the strengths of the community. And then, because of that, they are able to have a springboard to tackle the issues in the community. Even when you see their deficits, it becomes an asset. Let us rise and build was Nehemiah's clarion call when he saw that the walls of Jerusalem were down. And indeed they rose, they built, and in 53 or so days, the city walls were up. Again, it has been found that at the community level, it is almost a way of leadership when you stand in for the marginalized and you to become their voice and help to increase their self-worth. Our society is only on the titles, professor, nana, honorable, even when they are behaving dishonorably. But if you want to be a leader, you must become the voice of the voiceless and try to improve the self-worth of the marginalized people of the society. But in the community level, unlike organizations whereby you may be appointed on the basis of your qualifications or on the ballot when we come to political, at the community level, it is your commitment to the community welfare that makes you the leader of the society and what you bring on board to enhance the community's well-being. And often, this is not something that you prescribe. I mean, to be a vice chancellor is academic. You want to be the head of the police, you have to go to the military police school and go through the ranks and the rest. When it comes to the community level, it is your ability to adapt to the social conditions and the factors there. For example, I am Professor Emeritus. When I go to my village, yes, maybe they may call me Prof for the sake of respect, but actually, the average person in my village does not call me Prof. The older people here, Bedi Tobano, and the others call me Kwabra. Oh, Kwabra, Wafa Kwabra. What they are looking for is you identifying with them in the society, sharing with their pain, seeing what can be done. For example, if you are come from an area where people are farmers, oftentimes the ability to help them to get the ingredients, not for free, unless you are a multimillionaire, that is what stands you out. I go to my community. We were there almost becoming the last batch of people in going to university. And the whole community of about 12 villages, maybe 3 people go to university a year. My wife and I saw their needs. We established a secondary school, unique secondary school in the rural area. And today, from the community of about 12 villages, at least 100 people go to higher education every year. The other day I was giving a lecture at Tech, and I said, how many alumni for Christian High, Shiremwasi? And there were about 40 of them. In fact, I told them that when I finished my lecture, they should go and buy Kentucky Fried Chicken for us to chop. All the 40 didn't come, but about 24 were there. So, of course, we overfed ourselves on 40. We must identify with the community, the situation. You must learn. Again, at the community level, scarcely are we having one person. It's your ability to catalyze other people to help. For example, homecoming, you bring other people from the community to be there. You are able to assess the government's resources, which they are due, but unfortunately in Ghana, even when they have MP's Common Fund. I don't see what the MP's Common Fund does in the community. Can you go beside the MP and say, what can we do? And probably with your own widow's mite, you can, NGOs. There can be an NGO in your community and drawing even on the community resources. Oftentimes people believe that, NGO means that somebody from outside is bringing money. No, there are several things the community can do by themselves. And as you categorize them, you become a model of service and become a social catalyst. But oftentimes, and let me conclude on that one before I give specific examples of either chieftaincy or the ordinary person rising up, is the fact that for you to be a leader, oftentimes you must invest in the skills that are needed for bringing that society up. Oftentimes it's the blind leading the blind. There's no way I'm going to be an effective person in my community when I am like everybody else. You have to distinguish yourself. And that distinction doesn't mean you become a professor or you become a millionaire. Scarcely will you be. No. In your field, if you're a teacher, teacher anyway, they're meeting, so I'm sorry. In other words, this teacher is such that you know that any child who passes through his hand is likely to make it. A farmer of distinction. Then people will listen to you. They want you to become the chief farmer. And they want you, and when you go and get the akati, that is edro, the fungicides to spray on the cocoa bags, and you share it among them. In every area, as soon as you distinguish yourself, the community then starts to listen to you, and they start to follow you, and then you become a leader. So you cannot be a leader being like everybody else. And often many people don't become leaders. Why? Because they want to be like everybody else. Let it be. It's not my responsibility. When you decide to take responsibility for the community, in whatever small area, you find that people start following you, listening to you, and then your influence increases because leadership is influence. One of the crying needs of today in almost every community is leadership. It's always easier to say the government hasn't done this. And I'm not holding an alibi for the governments. I believe that they put themselves up to be voted. They have the responsibility to deliver, whether it is Ghana Beyond Aid or this was the latest one, is 24-hour economy. Slogans are not going to save Ghana. It is working and delivering actual development. I don't hold alibi for the bad roads that can be fixed and should be fixed. The economic downturns we have endured going to IMF 17 or so times. No, that's not. Neither am I going to hold an alibi for the chiefs, many of whom are the main agents of Galamsey in Ghana with the politicians and security agents. No. But I believe that if you are going to wait for all these rights to be righted, you are not going to be a leader in your community. You can do something. You can lead in communal labor. You can say, let us rise and clean our gutters so that the rain comes, the gutters will not be overflown and houses will not be destroyed. You can lead to say that, hey, Charlie, Why is it that our children don't go into Achimota, Mfansipim, and the rest? And it's because the teachers are not teaching at the BEC. Somebody, I was shocked the other day once I hear somebody was being, why are the teachers absenting themselves? And we used to have one of the worst absenteeism in the world. When the critic came, one teacher said, we will be in the classroom. So, but we have presenteeism. Now I'm present, but I'm not teaching. So I'm present. You say that I should be there. Please. But it's the community's responsibility. It is not GES only responsibility to make sure that the teachers in the village teach. I wish the time will come. The other day, some years ago, I heard that there was a school in Central Region. Not one child passed BEC. And yet, the GES will pay them. It's the community's responsibility to say that every teacher must leave and GES change them. Then the next set of teachers come. After all, you pay them as set A teachers or diploma teachers and we get 0 pass. When some of us were teaching and most of the teachers were people teachers, still the children passed. Have a course in your community. In my next sessions, I will be focusing specifically how you can rise as a young person and become a person of influence in your society, because we need leadership by everyone, everywhere, to transform society. And it can be you. Shalom, and may the Lord be with you. And as usual, I'm always on ZFM 101.9 at 8:30 a.m. every Saturday, God being my helper. Should you miss that, don't forget to meet me at Professor Emeritus Stephen Adei's YouTube as we cruise towards the end of our series, Leadership for Everyone, Everywhere. I thank you.